Hello everybody, it is Alan, it is Brony time, and welcome back to Let's Play Dual Destinies. Yeah, so good news is I figured out what the issue was with the horrible audio from the last episode. Apparently, if you try to use Bluetooth headphones while using OBS with your mic enabled, it enters something called VoIP mode, and that completely scuffed my audio, which I was kind of worried about because I do want to return to reacting, and I don't want that episode or the sound to sound scuffed. So luckily, the headphones I bought are double. It can be used Bluetooth-wise, they can be used wired-wise. That's why I'm currently using them as wired. Issues fixed. Anyway, when we last left off, we went back to try to find evidence that there could have been a human killer and that it wasn't necessarily Orla at all, that there is someone else who could be a suspect. So I'm pretty sure this is the last thing we need to do before we get into the first day of the trial, and I'm so excited for that, given the hilarity that's going to surround, taking on the, a defensive ship of, animal. But anyway, well, a whale. But yeah, let's go. Oh, you're back. So, did you find anything? Of course he didn't. Remember, even if you don't succeed, it's the effort that you make that's important. Is he trying to console me? Let's show them the evidence we found. The one that points to a human culprit. Okay, excuse me. Right, because we won't let Orla be put down. Please take a look at this blood-stained coin. Eek! Cease and desist at once! What kind of man shows a lady blood? She doesn't have to get so worked up. What are you terrorizing this lady with? Come on now, let's see it. We found this coin beside the Orca pool. We did see a large number of coins beside the pool, but not one with blood on it. We just learned that there's 300 of these weighing about 7 pounds in total. Now, what do you suppose would happen if a person was assaulted with many coins? Sorry, I don't know what happened there. What? So you're saying the coins might have been used like some kind of blunt weapon? If the blood belongs to the victim, then yes, it's entirely possible. But I wouldn't call it decisive proof that the real culprit was human. You wouldn't? Why not? Because there'd have to be something to put the coins into to make them into a weapon. Without that something, it's just not going to be enough to pass muster. But I will say that your theory does seem to warrant further investigation. I'll call the prosecutor's office and ask to re-investigate from a possible criminal angle. You will? Thank you very much. I really hope Detective Fulbright can convince them. You won't believe the answer I got. When I explained your passion for this case and the police's investigation. They said that the prosecutor I mentioned earlier would be willing to take this to court. Really? So does that mean a new suspect has emerged? No, I'm afraid not. To be frank, Prosecutor Blackquill said he just wants to prove that Orca's guilt in court. What? It's Prosecutor Blackquill that wants to prosecute Orla? That's fine, Detective. Thanks for arranging this for us. Well, I must say, you're taking this rather calmly. Defending Orla in court was my idea from the start. And I'll do whatever it takes to save her. In that case, I'll do whatever I can as well to see that justice is served. Mr. Plume, will you be a witness for the prosecution? A trial for a killer whale? I've never heard of such reckless before in my life. But I will reveal the truth about this killer whale and then write all about it. Ha ha ha. Sounds like a plan. Now, if you'll just come along with me, we have to prepare for tomorrow, and I still have to arrange for an autopsy. I look forward to tomorrow. Until then, blue lawyer and yellow fan. I am not a fan! Well, at least you managed to get the case to go to trial. But how in the world do we defend an orca in court anyway? To be honest, I'm not really sure myself. Plus, Mr. Poom said Orla bit the victim. This trial sure isn't going to be easy. But I love a challenge. Then we ought to be just fine. Guess I should go over that swashbuckler spectacular you were watching this morning. Oh, sorry, I was going Fulbright. You were watching this morning. Yeah, we can have a formal viewing back at the office. There's nothing decisive against Orla in the security tape, but that doesn't mean much. I'll just have to find a more concrete way to save Orla at tomorrow's trial, or else. We could have gone and just stopped here. You know what? No, it's fine. It's fine. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning. Chipper as ever this morning, I see. I'm just thankful we actually get to have a trial for Orla. As a matter of fact, I just ran a few laps around the courthouse to get extra pumped. I just splashed my face with some water to get the sleep out of my eyes. Oh, I also queued the Swashbuckler video so you can watch it at any time. Well, that's not going to be relevant at all. Thanks. It just might help our case. By the way, you have some serious dark circles. Did you stay up late watching this? What? Me? No, I just woke up early, that's all. Guess I need to cover them up. I get ragged on enough as it is by Prosecutor Blackwell. Speaking of being pumped, I'm pretty fired up for this trial too. It's been a while. That explains why your hair is spikier than usual. I mean, look at it. It's all super pokey and prickly and stuff. It's amazing. That was a compliment, right? Good luck, Mr. Nick. I'll be cheering you on from the gallery. Thanks, Pearls. It's been so long, I'm actually a little nervous. Good morning, Mr. Lawyer. Oh, Mr. Rhymes. Came to watch the trial? Yeah, Sasha is back at the aquarium with the orca. So I thought I'd better come here to watch for her. Well, don't you worry. We're going to win for Orla. Is that right, boss? Right. One unprecedented trial coming right up. Court is now in session for the trial of Orla Shipley. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Must we waste our words on this? Prosecutor Simon Blackwell, known as the Twisted Samurai, is a prosecutor who's also a convicted felon. They say he never conducts a trial without his loyal Haktaka by his side. Mr. Wright, it's been quite a while since I've seen you like that. The lawyer image suits you. You look younger somehow. Thank you, Your Honor. You look as young as ever yourself. Well, I have to keep up with you folks after all. By the way, has the defendant arrived in court yet? Surely you jest, your boldness. Did you not receive the memo? The defendant, or Shipley, is an orca at Shipshape Aquarium. An orca? Arrangements for this trial were made only yesterday, so I didn't have time to review it. But an orca as a defendant, it's patently absurd. Direct your comments to the defense. He's the absurd fellow who insisted on defending the orca in court in the first place. Absurd or not, I will carry out my duty to defend my client. Your duty to defend your crying ant? Don't you mean your crying orca, Mr. Wright? If we are to proceed, we must treat the orca as we would any other defendant. Every soul, be it man or beast, is of equal value. The question is whether that soul is painted in black or white. Take Taka, for example. He is as human in spirit as you or I. The real question is, am I in for more pain as always? Orca or not, I suppose the defendant is still a defendant. And I vow to render my verdict fairly and impartially. Now then, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement, if you would. I suppose I can hardly leave it to someone who knew nothing of the defendant. Very well. Listen carefully. The orca murdered the owner of Shipshape Aquarium in the aquarium's orca pool. The orca apparently toyed with the victim mercilessly as he died. A sadistic orca. What a chilling thought. Where exactly is this defendant now? Inside this. A cell phone, Prosecutor Blackwell. Time marches on, your boldness, with or without us. I borrowed this TV phone from the aquarium, which will allow us to interact with the orca. A TV phone? Very well, the court accepts it into evidence. Well, I mean, to be fair, you guys, we already cross-examined a parrot in court, and having an orca as a defendant is the obvious next step. We will be able to view the defendant in question on this large monitor. Fulbright, prepare for transmission. Ha ha ha! You've got it, Prosecutor Blackwell! We will proceed with the defendant on telecast. So that is the orca that stands accused, is it? Ah, she's waving her flipper at us. Maybe she's cheering us on? Orla, wish Phoenix and Athena luck. Oh, it's quite cute, isn't it? This adorable creature is suspected of killing a man. Well, it's really pouring on the charm, huh? And there we go again. Another I do not understand. I do not understand. She is far from cute. She is violent. Reckless animal. That's right. The name's Bobby Fulbright, and I'll take over the explaining from here. Now, if I could direct your attention to this diagram of the crime scene. Following the report of an orca attack, we, the police, raced on over to Shipshape Aquarium. There we found a guest who says she saw the orca and the victim from the visitor's corridor. As the witness was watching, the orca suddenly went crazy and attacked the victim. The orca was the only one there, therefore no one else could have committed the crime. It It's not quite finished, but I have a portion of the autopsy report here. Can't imagine the terror of being attacked underwater by such a large creature. But attack it did. Prepare yourself for the grisly details, your baldness. The prosecution moves to introduce our witness, Fulbright. You've got it, Prosecutor Blackwell. In justice we trust. One brave lady whose fine sense of justice compelled her to speak. Coming right up. How dare you make me wait? Don't you know I'm a busy woman? I could have written an entire book for all the time I spent in that lobby. Prosecutor Blackwell? Well, I am Norma de Plume, and I'm a non-fiction writer. Am I the only one who isn't telepathic here? Looks like she can read into people's words just as well as I can read into people's hearts. Not everything needs to be a competition, Athena. What? Norma de Plume? The great non-fiction writer, Miss Norma de Plume herself? I've read all of your works and enjoyed them immensely. Your million-seller, The Great Grief of the Great Thief, is one of my favorites. Oh, are you a fan, Your Honor? I could give you my autograph, if you like. Wait a second, I could swear you look much different in the photos in your book. Well, I used ones from 10 years ago in my book so that the paparazzi won't harass me. The judge seems so shocked. Visual disconnect must really be doing a number on His Honor's head. Could we get started, please? If I find you to be lacking as a judge, you will see a debut in my books. Such harsh comments. You really must be the real Norma de Plume. Who knew Miss de Plume was so famous? Enough jabbering. Tell the court what you saw, and keep it brief. I would thank you not order me around. I am perfectly willing to tell everyone what I witnessed. It was the moment of the murder. Very well then, please proceed with your testimony. I went to Shipshape Aquarium to see the killer whale. As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy. I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth. Attempting to remain calm, I reported the incident to the police immediately. That adorable defendant really did all that? It must be much more vicious than it looks. Now deliver your judgment so I may carry out the sentence. The defense would like to do some defending first, if that's all right. Must you drag this out with your tomfoolery? The defense always has a right to cross-examine the witness, you know. A fellow inmate told me just this morning. If you want something signed, all you need is the document of the witness. Let me guess, they were convicted for contract fraud, right? All we need in this case is the evidence and a witness to convict. It's as simple as that. Looks like I guessed right. Sorry, but as Miss Sykes said, the defense has every right to cross-examine. Isn't that correct, Your Honor? Yes, of course. You may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. I shall relish the sight of you thrashing around in vain. I went to Shipshape Aquarium to see the killer whale. Okay. We're gonna press that. Why did you want to see the orca? Well, it is the featured attraction of the aquarium, after all. Why waste energy on such tripe? There's but one attraction in Shipshape Aquarium that is worth anyone's time. And that is the penguins. Isn't that right, Taka, my friend? Alright then, I guess Prosecutor Blackwell is for the birds. Guess I should jot that down. Note to self, Prosecutor Blackwell is on Team Right. And so you went to see the orca in its tank. Yes, that's right. I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. That's not what happened in the security footage.
Objection!
Statement just now. My opinion is that there was nothing wrong with it. Oh, this is my first trial in 8 years, so I made a little mistake. That is no excuse, Mr. Wright. I should give you 8 years worth of penalties. It's been 8 years. Can't he go easy on me? Oh, fuck it. I'm sorry, guys. I presented the wrong evidence. I'm so sorry, you guys. Instant death from brain contusion. Yeah.
Objection!
It would seem that you're mistaken, Mr. Plume. I beg your pardon? The autopsy report does indeed say death thought to be a result of an orca attack. But the actual cause of death is contusion from head trauma, not being bitten. What? But I'm sure the victim was bitten. I don't believe that can be true. The security footage doesn't show anything of the kind.
Objection!
Just as I suspected. I knew you would peek at the footage behind Fulbright's back. Well, what did you expect when he wouldn't play nice and share? Unfortunately for you, the footage you saw was only one small part. Huh? Yesterday, after I decided to take this case to trial, I reviewed all of the evidence. Taka, the evidence I gave to you for safekeeping. Guess that hawk is higher up on the pecking order than Fulbright and Blackwell's book. Very well. Let's view the footage. Well, watch this. The orca is biting the victim. No way! I have to say that this appears to be very damning evidence. No, I can't believe Orla really bit him. And there is more. Look at this. This photograph was taken while the body was being examined. There seems to be a strange bruise on the victim's right wrist. I'll have the crime lab examine the bruise and calculate its relevance to the case at hand. What's important right now is evidence that points to the orca as the killer. Look at the left side of the body. See the orca's tooth marks in the victim's body? Yes, they do appear to suggest that she did, in fact, bite the victim. I told you so, and then the killer whale swam up to the surface with the victim in its mouth. However, in the autopsy report, the cause of death is contusion from head trauma. You are much too impetuous, right, Dono? Granted, the orca biting the victim was not the cause of death. The witness was mistaken about that. Then what explanation is there for what the witness saw? Did I not say in the beginning? The orca toyed with the victim mercilessly. My goodness! After killing the victim, the defendant swam around with his dead body in her mouth. Just like the other predator toying with its prey. Any other predator. Oh, Mr. Wright! The hearts of people in the gallery are suddenly filled with fear. Fear of Orla. So the defendant bit the victim after she had killed her. But if that's the case, then you must still figure out how the defendant killed the victim. Prosecutor Blackwell, do you have a sound theory to give to this court? I wouldn't be standing here if I couldn't prove whether the orca's heart was black or white. But Orla is black and white. Her body, I mean. Athena, please try not to provoke Prosecutor Blackwell. This witness also observed the actual moment of the murder. Think back, word mistress. Think back to what you observed before the orca bit the victim. Ah, I see what you're driving at. So that was the true moment of the murder, was it? Now explain it in a way that even these simpletons can understand. There you go again, ordering me around. Stop that this instant. But whatever, I don't mind telling my story. I saw the killer whale before it toyed with the body as well. I saw the moment it killed the victim by headbutting him. Orla killed the victim by headbutting him? That's right. It rammed the victim over and over again. Recall that the autopsy report stated that there were bruises all over his body. Recall as well how persistent the defendant can be when she's attacking her prey. And we all just saw the killer whale headbutting the victim in the footage. Don't forget. The footage backs up Mr. Plume's testimony. But there's also something very important it does not show. Now do you see what a menace this killer whale is? I'm sorry, but I can't allow your testimony to stand unchallenged. Look at this footage, the orca certainly seems to be headbutting something. But you'll note that that something is not the victim. Oh, what? I want to look away, but I can't. Even if it was the victim, you couldn't have seen him from where you were, could you? What? Oh, well, I suppose not. Mr. Plume, did you actually witness the victim getting headbutted by the defendant? Let's see. Oh, I remember now. As I recall, the rock in the shape of a skull was obstructing my view. So you're admitting that you couldn't see the victim? Yes, I suppose I am. However, immediately after the headbutting, the victim came floating up. He came up from behind the skull-shaped rock and his body was all limp. What else could I think except the killer whale was headbutting the victim? But if you didn't actually see the moment of the attack itself, then it's pure conjecture.
Objection!
Must I do everything around here? How dare you speak so rudely to me? There's no need for hysterics. Clear your mind and recall how you reached your conclusion. Though you couldn't see what the orca was attacking, you didn't need to, did you? Because you knew she was behaving exactly as she had only 1 year prior. Oh! 1 year ago? That's right, yes, that's it! That's how I knew the killer whale was headbutting the victim! I'm sorry, but could someone explain exactly what happened a year ago? If you must know, a very similar incident occurred only last year in which the defendant murdered her trainer. What? The orca murdered her trainer, you say? What? Is this really true? It's not looking good for us. It's all in this book. That book. The Killer Whale. That's Mr. Plume's latest work. I was just thinking of picking that up. Last year, the defendant killed a trainer in the middle of a show. The orca headbutted and bit the victim. Same thing she's accused of in this case. That orca killed 2 people? That thing is a menace. Guilty! Guilty, I say! I never want to go to the beach again! No, now everyone's even more convinced that Orla did it. We were doing so well, but now everyone in the room has a bad impression of Orla. I don't want to think she did it, but it's hard to keep on believing in somebody who can't even tell me her side. Phoenix, Athena, you gotta believe in Orla. There's no way she killed anybody. You gotta save her. Please, I'm begging you. Sasha, what am I doing doubting my client like this? This is the time to be strong. I believe in Orla, and I'm ready to fight for our clients. I'll take everybody in this courtroom on if I have to. Don't you worry, Sasha. We won't give up on Orla. We'll defend her to the very end. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. We are Orla's lawyers. Who else but us can save her? We can't give up on her now. For an instant there, you were afraid of the orca, weren't you, right, Tono? When you saw the photograph of the victim from a year ago, you turned paler than me. He saw right through me. It's obvious you have neither the guts nor the determination to defend the Orca. It's true that Orla can't speak. I don't know her thoughts. But there's a certain someone who believes in Orla with all her heart. I respect the trust she has in Orla, so I'm willing to believe in Orla too. And what do you know about orcas? Nothing, that's what. So allow me to fill you in. Do you have any idea why orcas are also called killer whales? Because they are cunning and merciless predators that hunt and kill even true whales. So killer whales really are killers. What terrifying creatures indeed. I can't bear to hear any more such rubbish as trusting a killer. Can you, your baldness? No matter what you say, I will continue to believe. I don't give up that easily, you know. Dullard, you don't know when to give up, do you? Very well, I shall give you a chance to prove how determined you are. Witness, spare no quarter and lay the full truth on them. Oh, but of course, that is what I do, after all. Prosecutor Blackwell, what will you have the witness testify about? I shall have her testify about what she saw and what she heard. Very well, Mr. Bloom. Please tell the court what you saw and what you heard. The killer whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. Excuse me, I was calm when I saw it start to headbutt. When the pirate hat and the victim came floating up, I let out a scream. So the orca displayed the same behavior as during the incident a year ago. That's right, those weren't just simple cries, it was singing. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. It kept headbutting while it sang the swashbuckler spectacular song. That's right, it was singing the same song it sang in the aquarium stage show back then. It was singing while it was headbutting. Oh, it was perfectly horrible. I don't see a single obvious inconsistency in this testimony. I won't be able to take apart her statements with evidence alone. Mr. Wright, now would be a good time for me to put my skills to work. It's time to show what analytical psychology can really do. You seem pretty confident. Let me guess, you noticed a contradiction between the testimony and her emotions? You bet I did, and once we expose it, we just might be able to crack her. No, scratch that. We'll definitely be able to. Now let's give your knowledge of analytical psychology a try. You got it, boss. A complete analysis of Mr. Poon's heart. Coming right up. And of course, we are going to be stopping there for this session. We are just a bit over our time. So yeah, we seem to find ourselves in quite a predicament, but we'll find a way out. I'm sure of it. But until then, thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Brony Time for more content, especially more Dual Destinies. Also, make sure to share this video far and wide so we can get many eyes on this series as possible. And I will see you all next time.